content creation, entertainment, and the rise of the digital kangaroo court. Re-establishing boundaries in online public space. 1. The problem we are now facing. Social media has collapsed multiple human roles into a single label, content creator. Under one umbrella, we now place educators, artists, journalists, entertainers, commentators, influencers, gossip panel hosts, critics, investigators, and, increasingly, public accusers. This flattening of roles has created confusion not just culturally, but ethically and legally. What once existed as clearly separated domains, art, journalism, entertainment, and legal judgment, now coexist in the same algorithmic arena without shared standards or procedures. The result is a new phenomenon. Platforms built for entertainment are functioning as informal courts of public judgment. But they operate without the safeguards that make courts legitimate. 2. The distinction we must restore. A. Content creation, constructive production. A true content creator produces something new. Original insight. Education or research. Artistic expression. Storytelling. Skill demonstration. Thoughtful commentary grounded in evidence. Key characteristics. Effort and intentional creation. Accountability for accuracy. Contribution of value beyond controversy. Ownership of one's own work rather than reliance on another person's reputation. The creator builds something. B. Entertainment commentary, performance about others. Entertainment based on discussion of public figures is not inherently wrong. Talk shows, satire, and critique have long existed. However, a distinction appears when content shifts from commentary into judgment. Characteristics include speculation presented as fact, narratives built primarily around individuals rather than ideas, monetization of conflict or scandal, absence of meaningful right of reply, audience participation as jury. At this point, the format begins to resemble something else entirely. 3. The emergence of the digital kangaroo court. A kangaroo court is traditionally defined as a proceeding that imitates legal process while lacking fairness or due process. Online, we increasingly see accusations framed as investigations, hosts acting as prosecutors, audiences acting as juries, edited clips functioning as evidence, verdicts delivered through public opinion and algorithmic amplification. What is missing? Rules of evidence, presumption of innocence, cross-examination, proportionality, right of defense, impartial adjudication. The accused often cannot meaningfully participate, yet reputational consequences occur immediately and globally. The platform becomes the courtroom, but without court protections. 4. Understanding legal fiction without conspiracy. The term legal fiction is often misunderstood. It does not mean a secret alternate identity or conspiracy construct. A legal fiction is simply a structured social identity recognized by law, the public version of a person that allows society to organize responsibility, rights, contracts, and reputation. Examples include names attached to contracts, professional reputations, public personas, corporate identities. On the Internet, this concept becomes clearer than ever. We interact primarily with each other's representations, profiles, usernames, edited images, curated narratives. These are, in effect, our legal and social fictions. And harm to that fiction can produce real-world consequences. Loss of employment, harassment, exclusion from communities, financial damage, psychological harm. The law protects reputation precisely because society operates through these shared identities. Legal fiction is therefore not deception, it is infrastructure. 5. Why entertainment spaces create risk. Platforms such as video sharing sites openly describe themselves as entertainment platforms. Entertainment rewards emotion, speed, drama, outrage, simplified narratives. Justice, by contrast, requires patience. verification, restraint, procedural fairness. When entertainment incentives are applied to accusations, exploitation becomes structurally likely even without malicious intent. Children and vulnerable individuals become particularly exposed. Family influencing without meaningful consent. Minors becoming narrative material. Permanent digital records created before maturity. The issue is not entertainment itself, but entertainment performing judgment without responsibility. 6. The roles we need to differentiate. To restore clarity, we must acknowledge distinct roles. Role. Primary function. Responsibility. Creator. Produces original work. Accuracy and authorship. Entertainer. Engages audience emotionally. Ethical performance. Commentator. Offers opinion. Transparency of perspective. Journalist. Investigates facts. Verification and fairness. Critic. Evaluates work or ideas. Reasoned argument. Host pain list. Facilitates discussion. Balance and moderation. Accuser. Makes allegations. Evidence and accountability. Judge, courts only. Determines outcomes. Due process and law. The problem arises when one role claims the authority of another without adopting its responsibilities. 7. The boundary that must be redrawn. Social media is not a court. Audiences are not juries. Algorithms are not judges. Calling entertainment content creation obscures ethical differences and removes expectations of responsibility. We must begin asking, is this creating something, or exploiting attention around someone? Is this commentary, or accusation? Is evidence being examined, or narrative being performed? Is the subject allowed participation? These questions restore boundaries without restricting expression. 8. A constructive path forward. The goal is not censorship. It is role clarity. Healthy digital culture requires creators who build, entertainers who entertain responsibly, critics who critique ideas rather than dehumanize people, audiences who recognize format versus authority, and most importantly, recognition that reputational harm online is real precisely because our shared social identities, our legal fictions, are real. 9. Closing acknowledgement. The Internet has not created new human behaviors, it has removed the walls that once separated them. We are now rebuilding those boundaries consciously. Not to limit speech, but to restore fairness. Not to silence entertainment, but to prevent entertainment from replacing justice. The task ahead is simple in principle. Name the role. Accept the responsibility. Respect the human behind the fiction.